move a commissioner of police who's not taking government direction, who's not taking government chain up. Gary Griffith has said to the Prime Minister, I am the commissioner, you're not. If you want the police to work with you, we'll work with you, but you don't direct the police, you don't summon the commissioner. And it's very instructive to watch how certain people fell on either side of that issue. And I want you to understand something. And to the assholes who are my friends, stop being my friends tonight. If you're only my friends to give me stick for supporting Gary Griffith. Let me say it again. Let me say it for the cheap seats. Let me say it for the jackasses and the knuckle draggers. Don't come and add me as a friend to play a direct in my hand. Because I am like Gary, I'm like David Naked. We're strong men. Ironically, all three of us came from St. Mary's College. And the future of Trinidad and Tobago is going to be bright, brilliant, strong, courageous men. I want to tell the jackasses who come to direct my hand where Gary Griffith is concerned. Hear me, He is the absolute best at what he does. He is bar none the best in this country. There is nobody else in Trinidad and Tobago has the skill set, the qualifications, the determination that that man Gary Griffith has. Again, he has my full support, unwavering support. If that costs me your support, there are exits on every floor. Make use of them. I didn't send for anybody. I didn't call for anybody. And even though I'm wearing my pet jersey tonight, I want you to understand I am not the political leader of any party. And I'm not here to dance for anybody's song. Don't play piper music for me and expect me to dance to a tune. Okay? I want to say this again. I worked with Gary when he was the Minister of National Security. I know Gary since school days, but I worked with Gary when he was the Minister of National Security under Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And I watched Gary Griffith change the way police are perceived, change the way securing the nation is perceived. I watched Commander Garvin Hero and men like him. I watch Sheldon Edgell. I watch a crew, because it wasn't just Gary, but Gary knows how to assemble the right team to get the job done. And I watched that man put this country on a footing. I want to tell you something. There are things that went on in Trinidad and Tobago when Kamala Prasad Bisesa was Prime Minister, that if Patrick Manning or Basdio Pandey or Keith Rowley was Prime Minister, would have shut the country down. But Gary Griffith was Minister of National Security, and for the most part, y'all didn't know. For the most part, y'all did not know these things took place in Trinidad and Tobago because it was managed, and it was managed effectively. And I want to say this again. He is the absolute best, bar none. And with the right government behind him, Gary Griffith will clean up Dodge. I want to say this too. To those of you who don't understand, this is to the knuckle draggers. A fellow named Jeremy Jubari, who came on my wall to tell me he wanted to give me stick for Gary. I want to tell you something. If you don't know, learn. This is how the system works. It is how it is designed. I had to tell somebody today, if you don't like how the system works, a fellow named Nicholas Williams, he wanted to be the Prime Minister of Point 14. He's our next one-man show, but he's a top-of-the-line politician, arguing he liver string out today, you know, telling people what he don't know, and proud of the fact that he don't know it. I want you to understand this. Gary Griffith does not have authority in certain situations because that is how the Constitution has it. That is how the law has it. And it is the reality of the situation. And until that changes, he can't change it. That the Director of Public Prosecutions has to guide at a certain level who can be prosecuted, who can be arrested, who can be charged. Now, if you want Gary to break the law for you, to prove a point to you, that's between you and Gary. A man had to tell me today, Gary have a jabber mouth. But if you find Gary have a jabber mouth or a flabby ass, go and tell Gary. Stop talking shit on Facebook. Because all you who talking shit, this next farmer who does drive the Range Rover, who dancing for everybody else's song, I want him to hear me. If they give you the work tomorrow, you shit your pants. Because that is the same organization that governments have called the most corrupt organization in Trinidad and Tobago. They had referred to the police service prior to Gary Griffith as the biggest gang in the country. It was run away and run amok. Now, It's under control. It's tight and reined in. Men like Harry Hunt could press Gary. You could press him. What going on with Hackshaw? But if Harry had called Stephen Williams' name, Stephen Williams would have ignored him for 5 million years. James Phillip would have ignored you for 500 million years. You have a commissioner of police who open the doors, who throw back the blinds, who open the windows, and some of y'all so accustomed to living in rat-infested latrines that y'all take the man's kindness and turn it on him. If I was Gary, I told him that. Boy, adopt the same posture as the rest. To ass with everybody. Do your work. Let them judge you by what you do. They will talk anyway. They will talk shit anyway. Most of the people who are going to talk about you have no accomplishments in their own life. They're sitting down fanning the balls, trying to make themselves sound important, like they Google something and want to quote it on Facebook. Understand how this shit works. Understand how it works. Understand how this country works. All of you who quiet and silent when we put 25,000 people on the road to march for Akil Chambers. And you come out your comfort zone. You change your clothes and you come out 6 o'clock in the morning and march. For a little boy who was raped by high society people and murdered. A body hidden and then put in a pool. And the cement-soaked drawers that the bathing suit went missing. In Trinidad and Tobago, all you know. All you're talking, Marlene file will go missing just now. And if it happen, we're going to say, you're going to bust two meme on Facebook. Call him went in the IMF and give all your middle finger in all your face. He said, I raised the price of gas 3 times and they riot. The rest of that sentence is the people of Trinidad and Tobago are assholes. We can do them what we want. Because they don't have belly. They don't have backbone. All they just do is come on Facebook and talk a crocus bag of shit for each other to entertain. Oh God, I'm dead. Oh God, I'm weak. Oh God, a set of bullshitting. None of y'all give a crap about the country and come. Budget day. All of you counting down. I'm watching all the 20 more days. 20 more days for what? For what? When thing happen in Trinidad and Tobago, because there will come a time when money gonna run out. You see, all this talk so much shit. Trinidad have a pitch lake, but you don't have one. And we're asking the government for information on the pitch lake for a little over a decade, and they're not giving it to us. Now they're saying file a freedom of information request. For what? For what? To get the information, to give it to you, to say, hey, look, the Queen, hey, look, the Chinese, hey, look. Full of shit. And it is the full of shit squad that have the country where it is today. All your popcorn dancing for each other, whining back in your pum-pum shorts. Watch me. Look my latest meme. Gil. Big joke I'm making. And you're in a democracy. You're in a country where you stood up for it. As you stand up for it, there's gay way one. We stand up for a Rasta man who sell peanuts in the Oval and the Oval back down. We stand up for an Indian family who get a peanut punch ban in Massey stores and Massey stores back down. We stand up against Cho Chung when he wanted to pelt out money for Abood during COVID-19 to send private security guard to secure your neighborhood. Cho Chung back down. Every single time, all you stand with us. The rest of them back down. But all you're too coward, all you're too weak, all you're back too small. Too small. And want to come like is Nigel Williams, Anthony Williams, you have a whole political party that exists in one seat. Point 14. And you want to give me talks about Gary, a woman named Renee Renault. I had to unfriend her, I had to block this Anthony Williams. Because you see, always get me vexed and I cuss people. Because when I see a collective of people who went to school talking shit, as get vexed. Because don't talk shit on my thread or don't talk shit on a post. I said today, and I want you to hear this, the day the Prime Minister could command the Commissioner of Police, the democracy has fallen. No. Boo, boo, boo. The seals in the PNM saying, fire truck Phillip, we want the Prime Minister to be able to order the Commissioner. And that's okay until Kamala or Pandey or Munilal win. Because the next time around, when the Prime Minister that holding the Commissioner leash is an Indian or a UNC, you will want to sing a different story. The Bharat go be talking, she go be backing out of the next side of she asshole when she find out that Kamala could send the Commissioner to lock up the opposition leader. All they don't want to know, all they don't want to think, all they don't want to hear, all they just want to act, all they want to speak. And everybody want to talk shit, like shit getting us somewhere. Shit getting us somewhere. That's why I'm not doing no more live videos, you know. That's why I'm not talking. I sit down here tonight, I put up a post, I say, boy, I'm going to make it hard. 2,000 likes and I'll do a live video. You know, they give me 1,500. I say, all right, let me do it. But what to say again? What to say again? Michael Allen Thorne, a fella from What South Say. He running a website named What South Say. Now, this is what they tell me. We loving you. We supporting you. We're your #1 fan. How come you're not helping we? What I supposed to do for you? What? When the wolf reach your door and you know that your father lying down on a bench in one of them hospital with his whole file on his chest and he dying, Phillip, oh God, help we. What am I supposed to do then? Go and kick down the hospital door? What? Who am I supposed to call? So this is Phillip Alexander. What do you expect to happen? What do you expect to happen? When the wolf reach by you, because it's going to reach by you. It's going to reach by you. The family that cussed me for putting the video on Facebook of watching this woman die on Crystal Stream Highway, watching people line up to give this woman CPR, waiting for an ambulance. I could have pelt a wind ball from there and hit Four Roads Fire Station. But the ambulance that come in to save her life, coming from Piaco, and she dead. And she dead. 50 minutes of people giving her CPR waiting for 50 minutes. And a fire station and a police station 1.5 minutes walk away. So I'm going to do what you want me to do. Well, you're sending me everything. Boss, look at this production protocol letter they sent me. Boss, they fire me. Boss, what we're going to do? Boss, listen. What you think? I am Superman. I have no public office. Any help I give anybody right now is from the kindness of my heart, the benefits of my own pocket. And I can't help the world. I certainly can't help whole of Trinidad. All of you all who had a chance to say, boss, we with you. We're coming outside. We're going to hold this town down. And we're going to make sure we put Pep in office because we want you as an action man as the prime minister. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. You could tell me a vote for me 1,000,000 times. I want to tell you something. And I really need to say it. I know what coming. I put out a post the other day, and I take it down. This white woman, and I had to call her a white woman because she's speaking on Facebook like a white woman, and she is outraged. Now I know her family, so she is a child of pure entitlement, and I'm telling you, as somebody who, when we have a problem, we go to West Shore or we go to Sinclair, I never have to deal with public health. So whether only living or dying in public health is on all you, it's not on me. Like that white woman who put up this post that I'm about to tell you about. Now she put up a post outraged that COVID-19 results takes 2 weeks. And I'm watching the rest of white Trinidad and Tobago commiserating with her. Like, this is an absolute catastrophe. And I had to go on her wall. I said, this is a catastrophe. What would you say to the people who get in heart and lung examinations a year into the future or worse, who need those results to tell them if they're going to live or die? But to watch children of entitlement weep over a system when it affects them. I want to tell you, I went to somebody's house because they were burning bush and the neighbors wasn't getting a response from the police or the fire. And this was about the 3rd time, and they called me and I went. And while I was dealing with this, the people dog get away and bit me on my knee. I have a dog bite. I had to go and get tetanus or rabies or whatever it is. And none of the hospitals, none of the private hospitals have this medicine. And I had to go and sit down in St. James Medical Center. Now, unlike the rest of them, it's not a shock to me. Because I deal with everybody every single day. And while I don't go into those institutions, I am very aware of what takes place. So I sat my ass down and waited 7 hours and pulled every string I could have pulled and waited 7 hours to get an injection. And I'm only saying that because there are people in this country that live in Trinidad and Tobago, but not in the Trinidad and Tobago that you live it in. So when everybody say all are we in the same boat, it's a lie. You're not. You're not in the same boat. You're going through the same storm. But when you see people telling all you can't behave, all your mother ass self and don't go on the beach, and they're telling you that sitting around the pool. I want to tell you, sacrifice, don't go out, don't go and hustle, don't drive your P-taxi, don't look to try and find some kind of money to feed your children. They're telling you that sitting on a fat wallet, sitting on a full kitchen, and most of them that are the most vocal, like this little Stonehenge-tooted girl who make an ass of herself and she whole family talking about the family private beach, sitting on the father wallet and their mother work. They ain't do a ass to earn what they own. But they're talking big and bad and out of hand. Half of them who have the most noise to make ain't no one ass about nothing. They inherit and they're skating through life, riding on daddy wallet. Yeah. And Trinidad is a shithole. And it is a shithole because we've never seen each other as one people. We've always existed at the exploitation and exclusion of each other because that is what we were taught by our leaders. That's what we were taught by our leaders. Our leaders taught us that it don't matter how you get it, once you get it, because once you have it, people don't bad talk. People don't bad talk money if they could come close to it. If some of it could break off and fall on them, but they don't care if you rob banks. Once you're successful and you have money, them around you. Drug lords, children, living large in this country, boogieing with judges and lawyers, children. Everybody know that your 2x4 store, build that empire. Everybody know that. You live in a country where criminal wrongdoing has been established, a nation state of secret society controlled positions of power and authority, writing laws and rules that could put little black children on their belly by cocoa wall. Gary's the first one to tell you that the law is shit. Is Gary told you all that? When Stuart Young tell all you, we unleashing the soldiers. I wouldn't test them. Gary tells Stuart Young, pack the fuck down. You can't unleash nothing. Pull up your zip and shut your mouth. That this ain't no state of emergency. And until it's a state of emergency, the only person who can enforce the law is me. So when Farris tell them, oh, they can't walk together, walk one by one. Gary tell them, shit talk, the law will say so. Now, if you want the law to say so, go and write a law. Go and write a law. You have the parliament. That is your stomping ground. That is where you beg. That is where you're swinging low. Pull it out and beat it on the desk in front of you. But that is your place. Outside where police does do their work. Don't tell police how to do their work. And if you know how you know that they know the law is a shit law? And I'm waiting to see how come Trinidad didn't notice that the Prime Minister went to Stuart Young for a legal opinion instead of the Attorney General. And he went for a legal opinion on an issue of national concern. So if the Prime Minister doesn't trust Farris's law degree, why is Farris the Attorney General? Why is Farris Al-Rawi the Attorney General? Now, I live in this country and I know, and I've seen the piece of paper that say $150,000 is a mayorship and $350,000 is a senatorship. Remember the girl that they put in the Senate who wanted to quote, who did she quote, boy? and she mispronounced the friggin' philosopher's name. I can't remember the philosopher. She mispronounced his name and said it twice and looked like a total ass. And you find out if she sugar daddy boyfriend give them some money and they pay her back. It's like the senator who was there to represent the oil interests of the oil company. Only remember all of that? You could buy your way into anything in this country. What did Faris do to become Attorney General? Because obviously it is not based on his legal acumen. Nobody thinks he's a lawyer of any repute. At best, Faris is a tenancy lawyer, mortgage rates lawyer, boilerplate lawyer. Faris will never, ever square off against fellas like Anna and Ram Logan, Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, Wayne Sturge, Gerald Ramlin, all this shit. Faris is talk. If Faris ever bunks up them boys in a courtroom, Faris will piss his pants. Why? Because Faris is a lawyer the way Dr. Pepper is a doctor. And that's the God's honest truth. There is not one person in the legal profession that thinks Faris is competent or capable. The day Faris awards himself silk, everybody else who has silk should give it back. Because Faris will never be deserving of senior counsel status at no point ever in his career. And he knows that. He knows that. And that is Trinidad and Tobago. But Rowley know the law is a shit law because the courts have struck it down twice. The court struck down, ironically, the police sending people back home. The court say you can't do that. You can't do it. You can't do it. The court struck it down. The court struck it down last week again. The law is a shit law. So what Faris is trying to do is to get the opposition to agree to give them a law and the cabinet will work out the details. You ever hear more fuckery than that? So you're going to write a law that is going to take away people's human rights and civil liberties, but you don't know the details of the law? We're calling that legislation cat in bag. Huh? That's what you're calling it? So that the public will wake up tomorrow and find out that Faris ass scratched him all through the night last night so he make a new decree. You want to give him a law so he can rule by fiat and you're not paying attention? You're not paying attention, but you're going to call me when you find out that your child get picked up and put in remand yard for some shit, and you're calling me to say, but Phillip, we didn't know that was a law. How did it become a law? Where Faris get the rights to make that a law? We had a riot, we had a blah, blah, blah. You want to do all that shit when the wolf reach your door. But when you see me calling for people to stand in support of everybody else, now me now, boy, I have memes to make. I have popcorns to eat. I dared twice. What you expect to happen? Strength in numbers is all I could sell. You see this? Stronger together. You see that? 1.4 million of us. When we pull up outside there and I say, listen, boss, I come alone, but I speak for 1.4 mil. And we're not happy with this. Fix that. We'll be back. That's all you need. All of us together. I read this thing tonight, that if you pick up 100 red ants and throw them in a bottle, and you pick up 100 black ants and throw them in a bottle, they ain't gonna bother each other. But if you shake up the bottle vigorously and throw them out on the ground, they'll kill one another. Not that the red ants or the black ants think each other is the enemy, but they don't know that what they're angry for is that a third party shook the bottle vigorously. And we're not thinking beyond the moment. We're not thinking beyond the plate of food. So we don't know that the fridge that empty now, and your wallet empty now, and you have no job. Wait in tomorrow. You're laughing at Jim Joy talking to an insurance broker today who's talking to me that all the malls are eventually going to close down because all of the malls, barring those that are fronting for money laundering enterprises, everybody else closing down because you can't survive. Retail is dead. We are going through a retail apocalypse in Trinidad and Tobago. And we're not talking about those people. We're not talking about the people who are the substantive breadwinners of their families who run those businesses and their 2, 3, 4 staff. We're not counting them. We could say 4,000 from Wassa, 3,000 from TNTech because we could count that. We are not saying 25,000 people from retail on the breadline right now. And because 25,000 people from retail on the breadline, all of their suppliers on the breadline and their staff too. And the domino effect of that is insurance brokers and everybody else who are in the business of supplying those small businesses. Them there too. And we're not thinking and we're not talking. So you're eating your popcorn, you're laughing at memes, and the 9 businesses that you don't have the self-awareness or the situational awareness to understand that those 9 businesses are the 9 pillars that uphold your reality. And they've evaporated or are evaporating. And that when they're gone, everything that was holding up your reality is gone. And all of your shit is crashing down around you. And you're looking to find my Facebook to send me a message to say, boss. Boss. So tell me, where do we go from here, Trinbago? An next meme? Them fellas making their name Crazy Legs and Rolly and them. They point out video after video for you. And oh God, I'm crying, I'm dying, I'm dead. Listen, I ain't telling you don't have fun. Shit talk and cigarettes win the war. I'm not telling you don't laugh instead of cry. But I'm telling you don't let laugh be all that you do. Don't let it. Somebody saying when they start to touch the public sector, then they go understand. They're touching the public sector now. They're touching it now. All you feeling, all you're waiting on somebody else to riot or somebody else to stand up. All you're doing the same shit. Let them touch the public sector. Let them touch Carnival. Let them touch the Syrians. Let them touch the Chinese. Let them touch the water business. All of you talking shit. Because they're touching Trinidad. And every time they touch Trinidad, we're supposed to be standing together. But we don't. We don't. We are not our brother's keeper. We are not a village raising a child. We are a bunch of people trying to impress strangers, doing whatever it takes to get ahead. We live a constant hustle. We lie about our condition and we try to fool everybody else around us that things normal and things nice. But some of y'all one bad news away from a suicide. Some of y'all barely holding the shit together, but you have so much false pride and so much shame. You can't say it. You can't say it. So you're defending foolishness and you're just fitting in because you don't have the courage to stand alone. And in that regard, and in that specific regard, Nyan Gatsby Dolly, or whoever she name is, was correct. That many of you will settle for the comfort of slavery. Is it comfort? Slavery was never comfortable. But you will settle for the, I had to find a word, but I can't remember what she used, but the normalcy of slavery than the unknown that is freedom. But man made to be free. Man made to chart his own destiny. Man made to walk unwalked roads. The stability of slavery. The stability of slavery. Two lash on Tuesday, 3 lash on Wednesday, 4 lash on Thursday, but we're getting dinner. We're getting dinner. Yeah, they have ants in the bowl, but ants is protein. The stability of slavery. And you think that because you're this squad or you're that clique or you're that crew that we don't notice. Because we don't say don't mean that we don't notice. We just don't say. There have a lot of people who are comfortable in their shit. So I leave them in their shit. And when they message me, because I was getting notifications, every time I open my Facebook, watch, every time I pick up my phone, I get the notifications. And I see a new name. I tell myself, one of two things happen. This person just discovered how sexy I am and would like to find out if I'm single. Or the wolf is sniffing around them. I get in calls. 24 hours now. I turn off my phone. I get in calls. Boss, you ain't know me, but I hope I'm not disturbing you. 5 o'clock in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the night, 8 o'clock in the night. I hope I'm not disturbing you. No, I have no life. I a bat, I hang from the rafters and wait for all to call, to complain. And the answer is always this. When you finish talk, WhatsApp it to me. Type it up and send it as a WhatsApp. I'll let you know if I can do anything about it. But if I can't do anything about it, I still need it in a format that I could forward on to somebody. So talking to me, and I think I'm starting to believe that people tell themselves, when the shit hit their fan, but the fucking mad boy calling Phillip, Ian Allen is making $150,000 a month stunting for all on TV. I don't. Ian wants your stunt. Ian needs your stunt. For things to go wrong in your life, it builds his business and pays the advertising money for his show. Now, I ain't knocking it. Do you do it works for you, Ian? I'll never be that. I am not a paid entertainer. But when you call me or you send your WhatsApp to me, you know what they do now? They tag Ian Allen, Stefan Reese, Phillip Alexander. One of them going to bust we mark. One of them going to light it up. One of them going to make a noise and I'll get a redress. This is not an election year. You can't shame politicians if it's not an election year. You can't. In an election year, they have to give a shit or at least pretend to. But this, they have 5 more years of this shit. Them could do you what they want right now. Nobody remembering you election time 2025. Nobody. But that's the truth. I'll tell you this. We're creating something called the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see stronger together. And there's an opportunity, and we will create opportunities. We're going to do a jobs fair. A national jobs fair, virtual jobs fair, and for Citizens Union members is free, and for non-members, $100 to sign up. And we have a team that will be shopping your need for employment, because there's nothing like that in Trinidad and Tobago, and somebody should be doing it. Somebody should be trying to give you all at least some kind of hope, so we will. But again, nobody's job is to drag you to the water, and nobody's job is to make you drink. If you don't get it yet, and I mean, if you don't get it yet, that until red, white, black, green, and every shade in between join together, if you don't get it yet, there will come a time you will look back and you will rue the day that you didn't. That you didn't pay heed and pay attention. That there was a moment in time and an opportunity. Tell you something. David Naked, who in the Senate right now, who working his red ass off for the East-West Corridor, he wants to be the person that ends poverty in places like Beetham and Laventille. And I want to give David Naked 1,000 points for trying. But I want to tell David Naked, they will chew you up like a juicy fruit gum and spit you out for a jackass like Heinz. Because we're broken in our mind. And if we black, we voting black. And if we Indian, we voting Indian. And if we not black or we not Indian, we not voting because we are above it. That's a thing. That's a thing. In this latrine, And you're up to your waist, you're up to your chest, you're up to your neck and shit. Shit floating by, cockroaches on the shit, using it like a raft, but you're pretending. And if somebody from outside called Trinidad, they go, shit, all your vex. You're vex. I could cuss my brother, you can't. I could talk about my shit, you can't. And that is wrong. Because until we face the reality of our condition, we're going nowhere. We're going nowhere. And to those who think that coming on Facebook and busting mark and talking shit and making nicknames for public officials, if you think you're hurting them, look around. See which politician or businessman or public official has said, wait, they're making memes about me. I done with this shit. Look, all the money back. I done. Where? When? You making a victory out of bad talking people. The little Petrotrin security guard. He had Bob hope and no freaking hope for the rest of his life. But he making videos bad talking his betters. And at some point, they will cut the internet connection because I know nobody I want him. None. And you're making memes. And you're making jokes. And you're bad talking people, no problem. Like pissing your pants in a wet suit, black suit. Give you a warm feeling, but nobody notice you're wet. The game is to stop the shit. The game is not to see who could rant more. The game is not to see who could bad talk more. That's not a game. You don't win that. What do you get when you win? A medal? An allowance? Somebody's come and say, hey, hold this 5,000. That one make me laugh till I pee. They have nothing in it for Facebook. Zuckerberg sending you a commission. They have nothing in it for you. But you're outside there filling up the news feed with shit. Post turtle. Hey, post turtle. Stalin and the chicken. Pluck out the feathers. Look at shit at. You're outside there talking shit for shit's sake. Because you have nothing to get. And the people who laughing with you and laughing at you and clapping you and giving you likes and giving you shares, tomorrow the next flavor, the month come along and you gone and nobody care where you're eating, where you're sleeping, who you're lying down with, nobody give a shit. And you thought that you were a top celebrity and that election time somebody would have passed and sweep you up and give you a post, put you in the Senate. That work that boy is doing on Facebook, let's get him in the Senate. Doesn't work so. There are people who not in Trinidad and Tobago, who've left the shithole behind. And while they may be commenting on the shit floating by, they're not in the shit anymore. And you arguing with them and going on with their life. When you up to your neck in shit, pretending shit is sugar, and you're treading water. Eh? A man by a job site, and I'm 6 years now. Every time he see me, boy, boss, let go something on your boy now. Give me a drop now. Give me 2 bottles of water now. I'm doing something for the kids in the area for Christmas. Give me a 2 cases of water. Everything. Every time he see me, it's a bag and a bag and a bag. Elections time. He boy parading in the road. He stick up posters for Simon. Great is the PNM. Election done, PNM win. You see me, hey boss, help out your boy, you know. I gave him very concise directions to Balize House. I helping him again. If I see you on the ground in the dying throes of starvation and you're pulling me in your last 3 gasps, I will bend over and say with clarity, great is the PNM. Great. I want that to be the last thing you hear. The absolute last thing you must hear. Before they wheel you out of that hospital. It must be on the ceiling in red. Great is the PNM. Yeah. I reach there. I want them. Bob Marley sing a song, boy, one drop. Listen to the words of that song. I want them to cry tears in regret. I want that. I want them to say, you was right. The PNM is shit. Balize House is plantation house. Hines and them is slave catcher. Fooling me with left foot, right foot shit. Stuart Young make a ass of himself doing left foot, right foot. We gill. Stuart Young making millions. Stuart Young brother and father making billions. And you there, brr. And your ass hanging. Your children exchanging drawers. You're going down by living waters and digging up in the poor box looking for next year's fashion for your daughters. Hampers giving away, you're first in line. You're living a life on handout and beg out. But great is the PNM. That has to be a mental illness. That can't be just so. Can't be. Don't tell me Stockholm Syndrome. Don't tell me that. That can't be that. This had to be a mental illness. Eric Williams, wherever he do, wherever he bury in the country, find it and dig it out and pelt it in the Gulf. Eric buries some kind of voodoo in this country. This can't be normal. People can't be so stupid. I watch people on a daily basis in Kokorit who have nothing. Who have nothing. The thief in a corner of a land to build a two lean-to and sit down there and hope that nobody come and kick it down, and next week they borrow and they buy 3 blocks and they put it up on a sheet and galvanize the thief. And they PNM till they're dead. They are no water, they are no road, they're living on track. Stray dogs shitting in the yard. Great is the PNM. That have to be mental illness. Anybody else have the common sense to come in out of the rain. That's one of the first thing a child learns. Sense. If it hot, pull your hand away. I'll ignore any trolls that find themselves on the wall. Feel sorry for them. The home sitting down in the drawers, using a PNM phone card, somebody just text them, go and give Phillip some steak. Ignore them. They're as useless as tits on a bull. They have nothing to get from nobody. This is their only moment of any kind of notoriety. But they're so covered, they can't use their real name. So they have to use other people's picture and other people's name. But they sitting down home feeling like they're brave. Coming to comment on a man who have so much belly balls and backbone. He here with 3 Christian names. Phillip, Edward, Alexander. And here to say what he come to say. And who vex loss. You could cry blood. You could pull out your navel string. You could do like Rhoda Barrett and turn your face inside out till it stick. He don't care. Come out to tell you, this is how it is. Yeah, them kind of balls. Come out here with a fake name. Yeah, ignore them. Look around you. Those of you sitting in judgment. Those of you with your little law practice, you. Your medical practice, you. Those of you with degrees. It was always going to be last for the shit to roll its way to you. See that brown stuff on your socks? See that wet thing in your shoe? That's the shithole that Trinidad and Tobago has always been. It's coming your way. And just now, we're going to see the chickens come home to roost. 5 years of PNM mismanagement and looting. 5 years. We're about to see the consequences of that 20 days from now. Budget day. They're going to stand up in that parliament and justify for you more draconian fines. 5-year-old children will start to get fined. And listen, they're running out of things to charge you for. They're charging homeless people for not wearing masks. And the mayor have to take public funds to pay the fine. So the same person still not wearing the mask. What's your next play? Faris, Gary and the police is a tool. Their job is to enforce your bullshit law. So they're going to go and enforce your bullshit law. So every time they find the homeless and they charge them, what's the next play? What's the next play? Lock them up. For how long? 5,000 homeless in the jail. Where do you do the rest? You let go the man with the $94,000 in weed or 9 million or whatever it was. What's your next play? Tell we the man, Imbert, what's your next play? All them UE economists telling you now what their suggestions are. What's your next play? I'm waiting to see it. Which tax? Come and tell them who's been slipping through the net. Come and tell them. You're going to rigorously turn the screws. Who you turning it on? Eh? Have the seals, but they're working for the same people. You say you're coming to tighten the screws on. So if you drive them out of business on draconian, usurious taxes, and they can't make, and they break and they're gone, them same jackasses who clapping for you outside your office. Boss, Mr. Imbert, do you have any hampers today? What's your next play? I want to know. State of emergency. Can't do fat all. You gotta feed them. You can't declare a state of emergency and leave the people to starve. What's your next play? The whole world watching. Oxford. What's your next play? Calm. What's your next play with your bullshit law, Faris? What's your next play? What's your next play? All of you who sitting down in your secret society meeting tonight, listening to me talk, that don't want Trinidadians to realize that they had to be dotish to be poor in a country that had $3 trillion. You have to be a jackass to not have $1 million in the bank because they rob you and they thief from you and they climb up on your back and piss in your face and tell you this is PNM rain, dance in it. Eh? What's your next play? IMF coming? Only forget the whole world economy is in tatters. IMF could close down. Only think the International Monetary Fund is awash with money. The people who fund it in trouble. America have a 44% unemployment rate right now. They are the arbiters of the retail apocalypse. Who going to fund the IMF? China? China don't want the IMF. China want to take over countries and expand their empire because they have 2 billion Chinese and they don't know where to put them. So they want to bring 1 million of them and rest them in Trinidad. Make us one of their states. What's your next play? Tell them. Everybody who joking, everybody who making memes, tomorrow is another day. Don't listen to my video. Boy, fire truck Phillip Alexander, boy. I listening to the news. I listening to TV6. I listen to but you listen to what you want to listen to. You could listen to Enid Blyton on the Mickey Mouse channel. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I know what's coming. When you're standing on the hill and you see the water receding from the beach, you know that it will only go so far and then it coming back as a tsunami. And I cannot stop it anymore. I used to tell people prior to the elections 2020, I used to feel like I was standing out where the waves just break with my 2 arms wide trying to hold back the waves. But now, you voted. And whether or not the election was stolen or not, it doesn't matter. Because we don't have enough people in this country that are willing to stand up and demand better. So let it all go to shit now. But all of you who think that they have people outside there waiting to ride to our rescue, or that the cocaine launderers, cocaine money launderers, or those who thief out our $3 trillion, if you think they're coming back to invest in what? Invest in what? You brokes. You have no value to them now. They have no value. They're getting cheaper labor from Venezuela. Raul say we're going to have a conversation with Maduro to see if we can limit. If 100,000 Haitians was coming in Trinidad and Tobago, you see how fast they close them borders. Fast, lock it down tight. If you come through with a charcoal, by the time you reach in Trinidad, it's a diamond, fastest heat and pressure. But it's Venice.